Namaste, Jai Bharat. There are some opposition leaders in the parliament, both houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Many times their talks were irritating. Irresponsible, of course, but then irritating. Is it the case that can people say anything that comes to their mouth? Which is far from any kind of reality or truth. But then they keep saying. Now, who are they trying to fool by their talk? Just by virtue of the fact that they are sitting in parliament and the people hear them, don't take the citizens of Bharat for granted, in the sense that they are fools. They understand things. What do you think of the citizens of this nation? Don't you think they carry the history, tradition, and heritage of Bharat in their blood, soul, heart? This, especially the leader of opposition, Rahul, the kind of statements he had been making for last several years were so repugnant and very irritable. He just says whatever comes to his mouth. He can say anything you want. That's what he thinks. Probably he believes that. He has his level of frustration, his amount of frustration. We understand, and that frustration, we are not responsible for that. He must have been groomed right from childhood as next prime minister, because that's what he had seen. His father, in spite of having no ability in particular, was prime minister, and then his father's mother, first she was a capable lady, remained prime minister. Then, of course, her father, that is his mother's father, was the first prime minister of Bharat, and I seriously doubt his abilities and capabilities and farsightedness, except in the tradition. This Mrs. Gandhi, except her, I don't think anyone can make any significance. The so-called lauded Nehru, as such follies, they become so desperate. Anyone who is a serious Indian gets desperate in things when we read what he does and we see what he does and what he had been doing. So many incidents that you can find all these things if you really want to. So this man must have been groomed right from childhood to be a PM candidate, to be PM. So I don't know, he must have been thinking like that throughout his life, and then suddenly he finds it rather impossible for him to go to any power, like any position like PM, in spite of his party, in spite of the names they carry. I don't think even the Congress people themselves would want him to be prime minister, or would even want him to be in some responsible positions within his party. The situation has come to that. So he had been speaking so much. This is a certain things, we always find him speaking against the nation, either supporting Pakistan, or supporting China, or supporting anyone who tries to oppose Bharat. Now this has become very repugnant on the one hand, but then for a citizen of Bharat who loves this nation, any nationalist, that really creates pain. Truly, it creates pain. Look at this man who is supposed to be the leader of opposition, speaking so responsibly, so irrelevantly, and so things that don't exist. He doesn't understand what he says. He just hears from someone, and then people who guide him is like the Kesi Venugopal kind of people. I seriously doubt their capabilities. And then he says whatever. Others tell him, probably he doesn't go and find out, I'm sure. So he had been insulting our army for a quite long time. The kind of words was using that, pitai kha ke aaya in Arunachal border. These kind of things to Indian army. Well, anyone who shall have anything to do with the defense forces would find it very, very, very painful to take. I myself was in the Indian Air Force, and these kind of things really pains us, those who serve the nation. And when we serve the nation with heart and soul, total dedication, It's a tremendous pride. It's a matter of pride that you serve the nation in whatever capacity, whichever capacity, whatever might have been your job. But fortunately, I was in the air defense, so I found it more vivid and strong and very active every time. Air defense is that, and we always had a vibrant air defense. Even when I was there 50 years before, we had such vibrant air defense. Now, unimaginably capable of people, wonderful people. If I speak, I get emotional, so I would speak more about it. It's a matter of emotion, not just me, to us. So, someone has gone to court, and yesterday, suppose, the Supreme Court goes to the extent of admonishing him, well, which was really needed. Stop talking nonsense and you speak as a non-Indian. You don't speak like you don't appear to speak like a citizen of this nation. You speak like someone who's outside, someone who doesn't belong to this. Of course, it really is the case. I think, see, to the extent which the court has gone, is out of helplessness. You force the court to make such statements. The statements and details are available in the net, so I need not to repeat it. But I'm talking, look at the spirit. They really had to go to that extent to mention this Rahul's name and say that this should be checked. The spirit is that the proceedings and details I'm not going to. This is, I don't know if he ever corrects himself, because there are some people who are incorrigible. I don't know whether he gets corrected, but then at least those nationalists who love this nation find at least someone takes a stick and warn this fellow, if you speak more, you'll be beaten. Like the olden time schools used to be the case. You are mischievous in the class, the teacher will first warn you, take a small cane, depending on the size of the class. Take a small cane and say, you will get it. He just first indicates, and then if the child is not corrected, then he gets good thrashing. And in many cases, in most cases, the child is likely to get corrected. The incorrigibles are incorrigible because that needs a different level of treatment, not common. So this is a good thing that the Supreme Court did. I didn't know. The person is in for another kind of trouble. There are accusations of he is having another passport, another citizenship in another country, and some evidences have come, and maybe at the wisdom of our government, they have reasons not to actuate it. I don't know. They may have their reasons not to jump into it or acting into it. I don't know. But then it appears to a common person that why this man is let loose with all these problems within himself. His dual citizenship is not permitted in our nation. He is a citizen of another nation, holds their passport, and is here representative of people, member of parliament, and that too the leader of opposition by virtue of his father, grandfather, great grandfather, grandmother, all those things. That's only credit he has. Nothing of himself. He has not done anything in his life by himself. Anyway, the 1 year Supreme Court is most welcome. That was highly, and in capital letters, highly needed. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Siya Ram.